to the Pig and Whistle Tales from Azeroth. As always, here at the Pig and Whistle Inn in Stormwind, I go for a variety of subjects with regards to World of Warcraft. So grab a bottle or a pint, sit back and enjoy. This midweek episode, we'll be going over a few bits and bobs on the forums. We're going to be looking at PvP for the most part. We're going to be looking at a lot of problems people have been facing and dissecting whether these ideas that people might have been bringing up on the forums are good, bad, indifferent, stupid, amazing, everything in between. But that we will start off with something very, very simple. So, as you know, the PvP season is about halfway through. We're getting there. We are getting there. And there have been quite a few changes that have happened recently. And these changes are very meta impacting changes. But there was a lot of changes that happened at the very start of the season. And these changes were a massive multitude of things. Now, Mistweaver Monks were very much part of these changes, and this statement kind of says it all. Okay, Mistweaver Monks feel like legit beans and cheeks. I don't even ask me where that has come from. I'm getting curb stomped by Holy Priest Resto Druids playing with a quarter of the effort. Yeah, pretty much. So I can relate to this one being a Mistweaver monk enjoyer. I really do love playing my Mistweaver monk in PvP, in PvE, and I find that no matter how much effort I'm putting in, if I'm going against a Holy Priest right now or a Resto Druid, I'm putting in almost double the amount of effort to win these games. And that's just due to number output, really, in my honest opinion. Now, Druids have recently got a few little tweaks in terms of buffs. Well, it's more everyone's being nerfed, and Resto Druids got just buffs at the start of this patch and have slowly been getting a power creep, which isn't great, but, you know, it is what it is. Holy Priests are very prominent right now in the meta still. They're very secure as a healing specialization. Same with Disc Priests. Resto Shamans are sort of lower tier, as well as a couple others, but Mistweaver Monks really are in a bad place at the moment. And the problem with Mistweaver Monks is that the healing output, you need a couple of globals to initiate this healing output, and a lot of it comes from their modifiers. So you have modifiers on your Renewing Mist, your Enveloping Mists, as well as your Zen Spheres spheres to increase the healing done to the target. So Zen Sphere, oh my god, does 10% extra healing on the target. Your Renewing Mist does 50% increased healing, I believe, and that is for 8 seconds when you first put it on the target. And Developing Mist is a 40% increased heal on the target when you apply it to them. Now, these all add up quite a lot. But if you do not have these modifiers, it's very tough to get these going. And the thing is, if you press Renewing Mist, it's not a big heal. It really isn't at the time of doing it. So you need a couple of bits and pieces to get going. But the big thing about these classes and why they're better is because, yes, monks have cooldowns, the same as any other healing spec, Resto Druids and H-Priests. It's more, H-Priests have an insane and absurd amount of healing output, as well as cooldowns that can stop damage entirely to a certain degree, because Ray of Hope stops the target's health, but they do 50% increased healing to the target, and over 6 seconds you should be able to out-heal it as a Holy Priest. You also have Guardian Spirit, which increases your healing by a dramatic amount every minute. You have multiple cooldowns such as PI that can also help the team offensively. Now, don't get me wrong, Monk also has these sort of tools to use, but you're putting yourself in very much harm's way in order to utilize these tools. Song of Chi-Ji, Paralyze, Leg Sweep, etc. As for Resto Druid, they have loads of heals over time, so if you get CC'd but you have HOTS rolling on people, it's really not that big of a deal. As well as you have damage reduction cooldowns, and the damage reduction being the big one, because monks have Life Cocoon, which is a big shield, very big shield, but you can only put it on one person, obviously. That's what most cooldowns do. And your 3-minute cooldown is actually kind of your worst cooldown that you have. And I don't mean that in any sarcastic way. Revival / Restoral is probably the worst cooldown that you have. This is due to it, honestly, just not healing enough. It really is underwhelming when it comes to a heal. You have to get a big crit, or you have to have all of your modifiers up. And again, having these modifiers up if you're CC'd is very unlikely, because you want it's sort of a panic button to press. It's like, oh shit, we need a cooldown, let's pop this. It's not like, oh yeah, just let me get all of my modifiers up, my healing modifiers, and then pop it. That's not how that works, really. It's a bit of an underwhelming button to press, but it is what it is. So I would like them to see about maybe changing how Mistweaver plays, maybe just buffing it a tiny bit, but I know that it's going to be difficult because Mistweavers has very, very good healing output alone, but they aren't utilized in PvP, because you aren't just going to be casting the entire time. You can't be a fist-weaving monk in PvP and get full uptime, okay? You're going to get CC'd, you're going to get slowed, you're going to get whatever it might be. So they really need to look at changing Mistweaver in terms of healing output. If they want it to be a pure healing, then fine, do that. Or if they want it to be more engaging in terms of the rotation just needs to be a bit more streamlined. It shouldn't rely on all of these healing modifiers that you can put on the target, where you need to use 3 different global cooldowns before actually being able to heal someone. It is a bit ridiculous. But that one is a very short one. I just wanted to get that off my chest, being a PvP or a Mistweaver player in my own right. The next one, better PvP rewards. I think that no matter what, there should be better PvP rewards. There's always no reason to play PvP. Currently, it seems you can either sit 25-minute queues in Battleground Blitz or Solo Shuffle. Sit 3 to 5 minute queues in threes. That's only if you get lucky enough to find a team. Or you can pace around Dawn a goal. Yeah, kind of true. Bad rewards equals no one cares. The tabard is lame, illusion are unusable, mount is ugly, and visually impossible to get until 4 months in. And virtually impossible. Okay, the only great part is elite sets. Elite sets are very cool. PvP needs a reward overhaul, making healing worth it. If you're a healer, glad is wins above 2.2, or put the mount in Solo Shuffle. We need something. I want PvP, but I don't want to sit 30 minute Solo Shuffle queues or queue into AWC teams 5 minutes into a queue because they can't find anyone my MMR in threes. Look, it's ridiculous. So firstly, yes, the reward system does need an overhaul. I think that this will allow more participation in PvP, and I would like to see that. I don't think you should ever put Glad wins above 2.2. I think that is ridiculous. Glad has always been 2.4 and above. You get 50 wins above 2.4, that's your Gladiator title. That's the way it's always been. What they can do, though, is inject some MMR into the actual meta. Or have a Overwatch system, like I said, where they basically... you have a scale of 1 to 4,000 rating, and you just simply climb or go down this rating based on if you win or lose. It's very simple, doesn't need any sort of injection to the MMR system. It just stays that way the entire season. That way people can monitor their kind of success in the game and see if they are gaining rating, losing rating, etc., etc. It's really good that way. As for shuffle queues and queues in general, if you don't want to wait for queues, go healer yourself. It's that simple. There is a more demand for healers than ever in solo shuffles, in any sort of PvP content, because people complain about healers in solo shuffle. If you queue up as a healer and you have never been told, oh my god, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you not saving him there? Or you're not the one who's ever been blamed. If you've played over 100 rounds, let's say, of solo shuffle, then you're very, very lucky. You are part of the 0.0001% that has not been flamed by the DPS. So go heal yourself and you will get instant Qs. It's that simple. I get that you want to play your main, which is a priest, by the way, according to this forum post. So this guy literally has 2 healer specs, but I bet he plays Shadow. So, each to their own. But if you are playing DPS, you need to accept that these queues are going to be longer, and obviously they're going to be longer the higher that you are queuing for, or the higher MMR that you're going to be. So it's one of them things, and you just kind of have to accept it. It's a bit shit, but it is what it is. But I definitely think that they need to overhaul the PvP rewards. I think that some of them have been kind of outdated, and I would like them to see, or at least just get some cosmetics, more cosmetics, like maybe a couple of tier set looks or something, or just kind of like how they did with Plunderstorm, kind of a renown system. You can buy what you want with a certain currency or with honor. Anything like this would be really, really useful to the game, to be honest. And yeah, I just think that it's needed. It really does need an overhaul when it comes to the reward system in PvP. Even if it just brings in more people participating, it would be a really, really good idea. So, moving to the next one. Why solo shuffle queues are longer for DPS this season? I think it's because a lot of PvPers are taking a break from WoW until the last 2 weeks of the season, and are probably focusing on other games like Marvel Rivals or even Classic SOD, or maybe trying out other games like League of Legos. So, solo shuffle queues are always going to be long, and this is partly true because of end of season. A lot of people hop in to the end of season to get their rewards, to push whatever they want to, etc., etc. But a lot of it is due to people being dickheads. So, again, if you have a DPS that flames a healer and is like, what are you doing? You need to get good, uninstall the game. And then that healer does uninstall because they don't want to deal with that bullshit. And then suddenly that DPS player is like, oh my god, where are the healers at? You are the reason a healer has left the game, kind of deal. And now you're complaining that there are no healers. So be civil, be actually smart, and understand that these are human beings. It's a game. Enjoy the game. Stop crying about something so stupid. Okay? Look, I get frustrated. I'm super competitive at WoW as well. I get ridiculously frustrated when it comes to anything PvP related, PvE related, whatever it might be. I'm a competitive person. But it doesn't allow you to just start flaming people on a game, because they might just be enjoying their day and you don't have any right to ruin that. They might be having the worst day ever and they come on WoW just to try and escape something, and you've just made it worse. What's the point? What is the point of that? Because it's not helping anyone. It's not helping you. It's not helping them. It's just redundant. It's stupid. And yeah, I don't know. It's absolutely crazy that people complain about something that they are causing, or they themselves are the problem of, like healer shortages in solo shuffle and stuff like that. Participation, essentially. But this is also correct. People do just wait until the end of the season to compete for their titles, for whatever they might be going for in that season. There's nothing new about that at all. Moving on to one that I find very kind of close to my heart. Design a new defensive for Moonkins already. The spec dies to everything and is literally only playable with an outlaw rogue, a complete punching bag. Stop spam buffing frenzy regen, it doesn't do anything. Give the spec an actual button to press and not die when healer is in CC. Root beam is useless mobility. Root beam is useless mobility is 0. Oh, root beam is useless. Okay, it just isn't. Well, it kind of is. If you just pick a gnome. Mobility is 0 and bark skin is a meme. Bark skin's alright. Give Moonkin a real mobility or defensive spell to survive getting ran down. You gave Ellie a shield and burrow in the last 2 expansions. What did Moonkin get? Has Moonkin gotten literally anything new and useful in the last 3 expansions for PvP? So, there's a couple things to Moonkin defensives. The biggest issue with Moonkin defensives, Frenzy is good. Frenzy is a good defensive, but you will always have the problem of having to go into bear form to utilize it and get the most out of it. So the reason that this is bad is because bear form, you can do literally nothing else apart from sit in bear form and heal yourself. And that is about 4 seconds of downtime. So you're just getting hit for these 4 seconds and doing nothing back. And the reason that this is bad is because, yes, you are healing, you are popping your defensive, but if you look at everyone else's defensive, Blur, Dark Pact, I forget it, is it called Unstable Resolve? Yeah, something Resolve for Warlocks. You have Die by the Sword, Frenzied Regeneration for Warriors, I think that was what it was called. You have the Paladin Wall, you have Windwalker Karma, Diffuse Magic, you have Survival of the Fittest, you have Exhilaration. All of these are defensive abilities, but you can do stuff and damage. You could do your full damage rotation whilst these cooldowns are on you and they are being utilized, okay? And this is the problem, because in bear form you are so useless, way too useless. If you look at mage, you have Alter Time, Barrier. Now again, they have immunities as well, and these immunities, yes, they can't cast anything, but they are immune to damage, and that's a lot bigger than, say, a Boomkin being in Boomy spec and having a little bit more armor kind of deal. It's not the same really. Now, they do need something. Feral Druids got Survival Instincts, which is huge. You could do something like Ellune's Protection or something as a cooldown. And what this is a simple... It's another wall, essentially. It's a 30% wall. We'll say that. Or you could do it as Moonfire. Having Moonfire on the target means that they deal 10% less damage to you. You know, something like that. That might be good. Now, 10% is insane, but you can play around with the numbers, and this will help overall, because you are just a target dummy a lot of the time for, like, you're just a punching bag. You're a giant chicken punching bag, and it's not fun. Because, yes, you'll say, oh, you have Wild Charge, just leap away from them. So, okay, so you use Wild Charge, and then what? The Warrior charges you. Okay, that's fine, because now I'll Typhoon him away. But guess what? He has a second charge. Okay, that's fine. Then I will Stampeding Roar away, going into bear form, not doing any damage, and just running away, and using about 3 globals. I use Stampeding Roar, and then Boomkin form to get back into Boomy form, and then I can start my dots again and my damage. Okay, that's fine. I got away from him. Oh no, he's heroic leapt onto me. So the defensives that you have aren't really defensives. You have auto proc Frenzy, but again, not being in bear form is really rough for these Frenzy procs. That's not great. And then you have obviously Barkskin. Barkskin is actually a very, very good cooldown. Barkskin is 30% now, damage reduction, I believe, if you take the talent in the bottom left. And you also have increased healing received when you have Barkskin up. So it's actually a very effective cooldown. But again, it's not the best. You don't look at Barkskin and go, okay, we're not going to kill him through this. Let's switch character. You know, kind of deal. You're like, yeah, it's going to be a bit tougher, but we can definitely make it work kind of deal. So all I'm hoping for, Blizzard, please, if you're listening, is to just give Moonkins any form of defensive. I would love it. It would be absolutely amazing. I would really appreciate it. Coming from me, coming from all boomies out there, it'd be really, really nice. But that is where I will end it for this episode. Thank you all very much for listening. Do check out all of the socials down below. Constant stuff happening. as well as multiple things going on the Etsy shop constantly. Have Helm of Domination up there, Frostmaw and Charlemagne, you know, all of these like IRL sort of life-size weapons. They're really, really cool, and I'm really proud of them all. So do check them out if you can. But thank you all very much once again, and go with Valor, friend. And goodbye all.